Welcome to the Decent Garage. You guys may remember that a while ago we expanded my workspace because we were too cramped in the garage. We poured concrete here, assembled a little shed over there for parts, and this space has been absolutely fantastic. But today we need to take it to the next level. We need to make this area more usable throughout the whole year. So in today's video, we're going to build a lean-to structure to cover this concrete pad so that in the summer it provides shade and in the winter it provides some shelter from the snow. Now before we dive too deep into getting to work, let's talk about the plan on how we're going to do this. I realize there's a million and one ways of how someone could tackle this project, but you're gonna see how I do it. Plan is to take that top piece of siding off and put a 2x8 ledger board up there, anchor it into the studs of this wall. This is just a little too difficult to show you right here on the house. Let me try and draw this out and show you what I'm talking about. I'm not much of an artist, but of what this is gonna look like. So we got that ledger board all the way up on the top, and we got hangers every 16 on center. And then this side, there's actually one too many posts. There's gonna be 7 posts going from the very back of the concrete all the way out to about a foot in front of the concrete. And it's gonna be about a 1 foot drop from 9.5 feet at the bottom of the ledger down to 8.5 feet at the bottom of the header over here. So the roof will obviously be on going across there. We'll put braces in between all the runners, but this is kind of a look at it. Should be really cool. So with that, let's start with the first step and start tearing this piece of siding off and hang those ledger boards up. So we got that top piece of siding down. I tore the soffit down as well. Just gonna make things a lot easier. So now I want to put the ledger boards obviously in studs. So luckily the garage isn't finished. So I came in here, measured where that stud is, came out here, transferred it right there on the wall, that little red mark. And then we'll transfer it straight up, and then we can just go 16 inches on center either direction, get them all marked, and hang the ledger. We are ready to start putting up our ledger boards, and I had the genius idea to bring my gooseneck trailer home, park it right next to the garage, and now I have full access all the way down without having to use a ladder. So this is gonna make it super nice. We've got 4 10-foot 2x8s we got to hang up, and then we got to put all our hanger brackets for the boards that are going to go across. Okay, I've got 3 of the 4 up. Bringing this trailer out here was the best idea I've ever had. I had a surprise visit from OSHA, but luckily I wasn't wearing my Crocs. So I'm prepping to make the posts for the outside of our lean-to. This is a scrap piece that I got, but we're gonna use 3x3 tube, 1/8 inch wall. And so what I wanna do is at the top of each post, I wanna have a U bracket that basically we can put our double 2x6 header into. So I got some flat bar, 3 inches wide. So we're gonna cut it. We're gonna have 5-inch wall on each side and a 3-inch bottom. So we got to cut it into 13-inch strips, bend them all up, and then we'll be able to set them on here and weld them up. Well, we got our first cut made using our little 3-inch saw. I think I should invest in even a cheap plasma cutter at this point, because this works, but it takes a long time. You go through a bunch of blades. So I might be looking to get in a plasma cutter. I think we'd use it enough, it'd make it worth it. All right, we've got our brackets welded up. So again, these are going to hold a 4x6 header. We've got to weld them to the top of our posts. And I've taken measurements for all of our posts so we can get those cut down, and then we can get them welded to our base plates and all installed. We should have this far wall up and holding a header pretty quickly. All right, so here's the base plates we're going to use for our posts. They're 5x5. Just got them from Amazon. It was cheaper than going and getting steel and cutting it and drilling holes. So these will work great. So let's set them out about where we want them. Make sure we get them all perfectly straight and see how it looks. Well, how does that look? And we'll have one here, but we got to pour some concrete for that. Pretty good. Okay, we need to drill our holes, get our anchors set, and do whatever comes after that. All right, it is freezing cold out here, but I got all the base plates down, and now the plan is I'm gonna have my wife come out and hold each post up with a level on each side so we can get it perfectly straight up and down, and I'll just tack it on, and then I'll undo the base plates, pull them off, and final weld them all to the base plates, and then I'll weld all the brackets to the tops of them once I have them cut down to the correct size. So there you can see, got all the base plates in their spots, bolted down. I'll obviously, on that one I've done it, but I'll have to come through on each of them and grind it off, clean the metal. I've come through and ground the metal at the bottom of the posts off so it welds good. Got my welder. Speaking of which, I have a new welder on the way. Excited for that. Excited for a new welder. This one's done fine, but I'm excited for a nicer, newer one. So anyways, let me get the wife. We'll get all these poles stood up. All right, so my wife and I got all the poles, or the posts, put up. They're all welded to the base plates. Turned out really nice. They're all perfectly plumb except the last one I need to shim just a little bit. So I've taken some measurements. I used a laser level, got a string line put up. That is where we need to cut them to have it be perfectly even. And we're gonna have a 1.5 foot drop off of here. So this line will give us a 1.5 foot drop exactly off of the garage. So I've made my marks. I basically just have to unbolt them one by one, cut them, and weld our brackets up on the top after I cut them. All right, we have our header up. We got one more we gotta put here, but it looks pretty good. I do need to shim this back post. It's leaning a little bit in, so it's curving the header in, but that'll be easy to do. This thing is solid. Okay, I gotta screw the two 2x6s together now. Get it nice and strong. Here's where we're at. I've got 2 more beams to put up, but I'm waiting because I want to wait to move the trailer so I can get the roof up in the back with the trailer here, and then I'll move it forward and do that. But anyways, we have pretty much all the beams up. It looks really good all the way back here. Very cool to make so much progress and to see so much covered space. Now, before I put the ribbing on the roof, I'm going to use 1x2s across to screw the roof down to. I went and picked up the roof already, the corrugated ribbed steel roof. So before we do that, we got to put our hangers over here to secure these beams to that header. That should be pretty easy. I have to make sure one's perfect and then measure my 16s in both directions, and then that'll be easy. Then we'll put the ribbing on and put our roof up, and this thing will be done. Check this out. I am so thrilled with this. We've gone from an exposed concrete pad to completely covered work area, 13 feet wide by 40 feet deep. 9.5 foot here, down to 8 foot here. This spot is going to be perfect to work on more projects. This is a reflection of the progress on the channel. I couldn't have done this without having to sell Long Bed Larry. So as you watch the channel, understand all the decisions I make are to progress the channel, build more trucks, build cooler things, and just have more fun. If you found this project hopeful or inspiring, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can follow along with all the builds we're doing here. We're taking one thing at a time, but we have a ton of fun projects planned for the future. I appreciate all your support. I appreciate your comments, your emails, your comments on other social media platforms. I learned a ton from you all as well. The Decent Garage crew is a gift that keeps on giving. I hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you guys in the next one.